it can be accessed in a number of ways, as you probably know, Michael. Sometimes you can access through a lucid dream. You're dreaming, and you, in the way that anyone would dream, and you realize that it's actually a lucid dream, and you just make it more conscious. You step into the dream, and you start acting like a living person in the dream, and then you can direct yourself in any number of ways
Yep.
to any number of activities.
So with so with an outer body experience, do you have to be in your sleep state, or can it happen?
No,
You can't.
no, it can be, that's just one way.
Okay.
There's another way of doing it in meditation,
Okay.
doing a mindfulness meditation, any, whatever people feel comfortable with, and you project your consciousness out. And when you do that, when you're awake and meditating, you're it's different than doing it from the dream state where your body's asleep.
Okay.
You can be conscious of who you are sitting in your armchair or in your yogic position, or lying on bed or whatever, and also the other area that you're exploring out of body, and you're essentially bilocating. You're in two places at once.
Okay. So I always find this so fascinating, this topic. Now, I know I personally, I may have had, I'm sure we've all had like outer body experiences, but maybe we just don't recognize it. And maybe we just don't realize at the time that that's what it was. Cause I was trying to think back, did I ever had an out of body experience? Did I ever astral travel? And for the life of me, I was thinking, I don't think I have, but I'm probably sure I have and just don't remember it. Is that the case with most people?
I would say so, yes. When I'm working with clients, that's and I question them about their experiences, and they've got vague memories of this, that, and the other, and I can tell from much experience that the vague memory they have is actually an out of body experience that they remember a very small portion of. And it's and you'll find if any of the listeners will find if they care to do some research, the many other out of body facilitators, people have written books about it. They will tell you the same thing. Almost everyone goes out of body.
Okay.
And just doesn't remember too much about it, or just bits and pieces.
Now, do you find that is it a subconscious or a conscious choice to remember those out of body experiences? Or is it like, I know you've talked about this a lot in your experiences where it just seemed like it just seemed to start happening and you just went on this journey for like, was it weeks or months on end? You were having all these experiences?
Okay, well, I had a lot between obviously, I'm almost 70, Michael, so this has been going on for a long while. In the 1970s, when I was reading a lot of esoteric and New Age literature, the same things everyone else was reading, Seth, Castaneda, the stuff emanating from the Findhorn people in Scotland, old esoteric theosophical books. I was thinking about a lot of this stuff, and I would have occasional lucid dreams, maybe 2 or 3 a year.
Okay.
Where from the reading that I had done, especially theosophy, I would understand that I was being shown things, sort of a training, and it wouldn't happen very often. As I say, maybe 3 times a year, maybe 4. And it would be a puzzle to me, but it would also be, from what I had read, indicative that I was learning things out of body. I was being taught things, and I was remembering this and that. Let me give you one example.
Yeah, please.
When you're being trained by, quote unquote, a guide, a teacher, or a number of guides, one of the things they will do, of many, is have you, when you're out of body, go through a forest fire. And you're in your astral body, So the forest fire can't affect you in the same way that in your astral body you can go through a wall or a window, you know,
Hmm.
a higher vibration. But they're testing your consciousness. And if you panic and think, oh my God, I'm in a fire, I'm going to get burnt, and then you go right back to your body in bed, then they know that your identification with your physical body is still quite strong. You have to know that you're in your astral body.
Okay.
So that's one little thing they will do. Other things are more like flying, just flying around. And I think many people have had flying dreams.
Okay. Yeah. That's, when you say that, it's like, yeah, I think I have. Yeah. That sounds
Yes,
very familiar.
very many people have them, and that's little bit memories of being out of your body and flying around,
Okay.
either flying around your own home, your garden, your neighborhood, that sort of a thing. So I had experiences, things like that. And then I also had a connection with the afterlife because my father passed many, many years ago. And I had, like 50, 60 years ago. And I had experiences of talking to him. So
Okay.
it helps to have a connection. And of course, most of us do. Almost everybody knows somebody who's passed on, if not two or three people. So that gives you a sort of a magnetic draw. Um, so anyway, the years go by, and then by the late 1990s, I was having a lot of these lucid dreams and
So
flying dreams.
yeah. So how would that change? Like, was it something different that you were doing, or it just, were you reading more, or were you just more comfortable with the experience? What was
Hmm.
kind of like the precipice of what really kind of started the
It
evolution
seemed to
of
be,
having a more?
it seemed to be uh, what's the word I'm looking for? An acceleration of experiences. Instead of having an experience every 2 months or 3 months, I started having them every other day.
Oh, really?
And I, in the interim, this is late 1990s, after getting started in the mid 70s, let's say, I knew enough that this was happening for a reason. And as I'm a writer, I thought, okay, the reason is I have to write about this. So I
Makes
did.
makes sense.
Yeah. So I came up with an afterlife book that was published a few years later. The first one, Eternal Life and How to Enjoy It. Um, when I finished that, I came across uh, the website of Bruce Moen, who had a website called afterlifeknowledge.com. And he had some books as well. And he was using the hemisync tapes from the Monroe Institute
Okay.
and having great results. He'd taken courses there and everything. So I got interested in that, and I started using the hemisync tapes sort of as I finished my first book and was getting started on the second one. And I would certainly recommend them to anybody in terms of, you put the headphones on, you listen to the hemisync tapes, and it's much easier to project yourself.
Okay, so before we go a little further down the topic on this, so let's talk about what that really is and what maybe some of the benefits of that is. Because if people are listening to it, they'll be going, "What kind of tapes is he talking about? Like, what is the hemisphere?" So maybe just give a little bit more information on that.
Right. Well, they're a product of many products of the Monroe Institute in Virginia in the States. And Monroe Institute was founded by Robert Monroe, and people will know of his first book from the 70s, Journeys Out of the Body, and then the second one, I think, Far Journeys and an Ultimate Journey. So many people, the first book had been quite a success for him, and a lot of people knew about it. Um, but he was a natural at doing out of body travel, but he wanted to develop a way that many people could do it. So he, with some technically minded friends, developed the hemisync tape. And I can give you a basic non-technical understanding of how that works.
Yes, please do.
It's one vibration into your left ear and another slightly different vibration into your right ear. That's in behind some music that's playing. And what happens is your brain catches these two vibrations subconsciously and creates a third one that's a harmony between the two.
Okay.
And that third vibration facilitates projection of consciousness.